Soriano, and I'm going to be showing you my final prototypes for the error reporting system. I was tasked with doing most of the administrative tasks, which include reviewing a report and turning it into a case, as well as reassign cases from admin to another admin, and also being able to fill out a report from scratch on behalf of a staff, and then also creating a case. Um, I was also tasked with filling out the important forms such as the workers' comp, OSHA 300 and OSHA 301, and as well as I'm going to be showing you some new features that I introduced. So the first flow I'm going to show is when an admin reviews a report. So they're going to be receiving a notification. And so in this case, we're already there in the notification item from the navigation. Um, and the admin goes ahead and receives the newest item will be at the top highlighted in blue, and then they'll get some context and a timestamp. If they go ahead and click on it, they can see like a little bit more details of context. In this case, it's a new report submitted, so they can get information and then they can decide to either save it as a draft or go ahead and create a case on the spot. I'm going to show you what saving as a draft looks like, and it's going to generate a pop-up that will tell the admin where they can access this new the new report for later. It's going to be in the report staff, and they can at any point go back and like actually process and create a case. um, from here I'm going to show you the create a case. So the admin can now tap the button, and this is going to take them to the success screen, which will show them that they successfully opened a new case on behalf from the report. It will give them a summary of what went on, as well as the timestamp, the case number, and then if any parties were notified, in this case the staff, John Doe, their manager, and then everything is going to be logged in the activity log, and as well as also in the timeline that each case is going to have. I've also added features that admins can leave comments to a case that will always be visible like in the timeline or when inside viewing the case. They can also pin the case, so when they go into the list view of all cases, whatever they pin is gonna be there, so they can do that in advance. As well as having them options after they create a case to start filling out the workers' comp and the OSHA 300, and I'm gonna be showing that in a different flow. Another addition to the prototype is the ability to switch from different languages, so from English to let's say Spanish, and this will be useful for people that work at nursing homes that don't speak English as a first language, and they will feel more comfortable doing it, and then they can translate back and forth. So from this page, we can go back and to the previous notification screen. Yeah, what I want to show you is now that we have created a case, we can go ahead and go to the cases tab. So that is accessed by clicking on this button on the navigation, and this is gonna be the main the page that the admins is gonna be processing. So as you can see here, all the pinned cases are gonna show at the top. There's this bar that will show all the information about the case at a glance. To make it very easy for admins to know what's going on. The priority of the cases is now colored in with depending on the level of priority. So high for red for high, orange for medium, and like a light orange or yellow for low. Previously, I had the sorting here by just most recent, which is very vague, and then I took that into consideration and I just made it a little more clear. So now cases are by default sorted by when they were created, and then of course pinning takes precedence. So like the pin cases, this is the one we just created from the report. It's gonna be at the top, and then of course like in chronological order. But then there's also sorting features for each label, so that they can be sorted by manager name, by case number, etc. Um, Another action button that will be shown in the top part is the OSHA 300 form. So when then we go ahead and click it, that would populate like select a range of cases from different from within like 6 months or so, and then start populating that important form. And I'm gonna be showing that in a different flow. From now, let's go ahead and click on the new cases we just created, and then to get more details about it, I'm using an accordion style UI element to be able to kind of quickly see information, and then the case is going to have a timestamp of when it was last updated. Some action buttons such as going into more details to make edits, contact the staff, and then reassign the case to another admin. And of course, in this case, we haven't filled this off yet, so the OSHA 300 and workers comp are gonna show as pending here with that clear indicator, so that we have to take care of that. I'm gonna go ahead and go into the case just to show you what that looks like. Oops. Sorry. So before I do it, I wanted to show you what pinning a case looks like. So if I go ahead and tap on like a regular case and I pin it, you can see it's gonna get like animated. So it should pin it to the top. Sorry. And that's what it would look like if for any other cases that wants to get pinned, it's just gonna go move up to the top, etc. Let me show you what up next what reassigning a case looks like. So again, from this screen, which is gonna have that breadcrumbs trail in the top, which is serve as an indicator of current status. So the user always knows where they are and which pace, and they can also use it to navigate back and forth. We're gonna click on the most recent case, and we're gonna go ahead and then let's just assume that we have to reassign it because the admin doesn't have time. They will click on this button, and then now you see the trail has been updated into a deeper level. This whole case bar gets translated to another page. We can go back, but in this case, we want to choose. Well, the system will show a list of available admins as well as how many cases they are processing. This is useful because we want to reassign this case to someone who doesn't have that much, right? In this case, admin Eric, you saw, was really busy guy, so he's gonna choose Valentino, and then the highlighted item will be in that blue that I showed earlier. As you can see here, we're using the current highlighted item is the same color. There's also an ability to include a comment, so when Valentino gets a message about the transfer request, they'll be able to see the reasoning. We also include any character counts for any text boxes, so that there's a mindful decisions in what to write. We will continue, and that will generate a pop-up that sits on top of a dark overlay, which is again I use that across the system. And this is gonna show another the admin if they are sure to continue with the reassignment, or they can go back if they change their minds. So that gives them an extra step of recovery, right? So in this case, everything looks fine, and we're gonna reassign it to Valentino, and that will take us to the success page. So Valentino will be receiving a notification, John Doe as well as their manager, etc. And so all the activity moments will be saved in the log that my partner Ayushi is taking care of that flow. But they also get into the case timeline. So there's transparency in every part of the case. After this, if the admin goes back, now they have one less case because it just transferred. So that moves, it gets removed automatically, and that frees up some space. The next flow I'm going to show you is what it looks like from an admin filling out a report from scratch. In this case, they will do it on behalf of one of the admins, on behalf of a staff. So assuming you start on any page, in this case the all cases page, they will go to reports and the drop down new report, which will take them into that page, and that will generate automatically a new report ID, which when the case is created, it becomes a case ID. And then the breadcrumbs trail that starts the flow. So we're going to start with not having the inactive save and continue button because we haven't selected anything, right? And then if we go ahead and we can select to fill it out for ourselves, for this admin, or on behalf of a staff, which is what we're going to do, and that triggers a new entry field for typing the staff name. So we're going to go ahead and show Michael L, which is the person we're filling this out on behalf, and that's the search. Smart searching will show us the correct person. We select them. We're gonna do an injury report, and we're using I'm using radio buttons for selecting the incident type, but there's also that other category in case it's a different type. We will go ahead and select sleep and fall, and then now you see the action button becomes active. We can go ahead and proceed. A few seconds loading screen, and that will take us into the actual form, and then again you can see the breadcrumbs trail getting updated into the deeper level. The way I segmented this was I didn't want to do a single scrollable bar. I wanted to do like segmented in parts, so that at any point the admin or staff can like save it for draft and then continue later. And of course, when you save something for draft, the pop-up will always tell you where you can find it. In this case, they're always gonna be inside if you edit report. So yeah, in this case, all the information, the contact info was populated from HR file, and that's a feature that it basically saves time for who's filling out the form. Sorry, the form. The items that were automatically filled will be shown in this like blue, but of course there's an edit indicator, so the admin can still go ahead and like overwrite that if needed, right? If they just hover on one of the items, like for example the addresses or phone numbers that are most likely to be changed across time, the system will ask like if the information is still accurate. If it's not, then it'll prompt them to what action they can take. In this case, they can contact HR or just, like I said, update them on the spot. Assuming everything's well, we're gonna move ahead and save and continue. And then now you'll see that the progress bar at the top is gonna get updated into the next level, as well as the previous section that we just saved and completed. And from here, this is gonna be the incident details, which are gonna be for the information that will be used to populate like the workers' comp and OSHA. So we're gonna have to, we're gonna start selecting the date of the incident, go ahead and fill it out, incident location, priority, fall, and then of course the text boxes with the character count, like I show, they can be filled. And this information these are the questions that will be used later on. If there's gonna be time enough, yes. So we're gonna go ahead. Previously didn't have these like micro interactions, but now I added them based on the feedback, so you can see what it looks like to fill out the form. No, in this case we didn't have witnesses, but if we did, we would add them to like this page. So I have these two hyperlinks that are very commonly recognized, and they will, in this case, let's go ahead and append a file as evidence. This will take us to a pop-up that I added a new screen that will allow people to drag and drop files such as photos or videos. It will tell you here the type of format and the file size. Or you can just click to like get that very familiar selecting screen. We're gonna select some photos, and then now you see they're gonna be shown here preview before we upload. You can still go ahead and delete them and go back and upload more, or cancel and go back, which will delete, overwrite everything. But we don't want that. We want to go ahead and upload media, and then now you see the 4 files we just uploaded, and we can go ahead and preview them, which is another screen that I added. In this case, this appended file, and that will be the same for all the different files you upload. Everything looks good, so we're gonna continue, save and continue. And then now you see the progress bar gets updated again. We're going to go ahead and go into the medical information, fill it out. Yes, the medical diagnosis. We're gonna just keep filling out the form. Yes, and then like I said, we can still save as draft here or save and continue. And then this will upload the progress bar again on the top. And at this point, we can go ahead and review before we submit. So we always have a chance to go back and fix anything, right? And as you can see here, by the way I segmented the form, the admin can still go back and like edit any portion if there's any need for that. If everything else looks good, they can still go ahead if they want a save as draft. But here we're gonna go ahead and submit since everything looked fine. And then now you can see that what we were doing as a report, since it was an admin that did it, now it becomes a case automatically. And that will take us to this very familiar success page, and with the timeline and everything I've shown before. From here we can go back to the case if we want to just keep making edits. And then we are going to be using the information that was filled out here to populate one of the affordance forms. So we're going to start with OSHA 300. The button on the top is going to be used for that, and this will take the admin into that page that will tell them like which part of the report is going to be, of the case information, is going to be used to populate the OSHA 300. And then at first there won't be an option to submit because we haven't filled out the PDF file. And I added this widget here, this button in the corner that then the admin clicks, that will basically gather the PDF file from the official website, and then all the files will be automatically filled from the report. So that's gonna save them time. they'll be highlighted in green, but then again, the admin can still go and make any changes if they want, right? So everything looks good in this case. We're gonna go ahead and save and close. And then now the button becomes green, indicating that everything's ready to go, and we can go ahead and submit now. And once we do that, now you see that the previous option at the top, now it will tell you that the OSHA 300 was already submitted, so that's fine. The item gets added to the timeline at the top, appended at the top, and then the same flow for the same success screen as before. If we go back and then now we want to go ahead and do the workers' compensation, it will be the same procedure. It'll take the user to that new screen, ask them like, hey, this is the info we're gonna use to fill it out. We will click to pull the PDF. The system will autofill everything, save and close. It's important to save, and then when we are ready, if we can always go back and make edits, but if everything looks fine in this case, we're gonna go ahead and submit. And then that is going to now both forms are submitted now, and then the timeline gets updated, everyone gets notified, so on and so forth. And if we go back to I apologize for that. If we go back into like the cases and we want to see, we go into the drop down details, now we see that the forms are updated, so like the information will always be visible and updated across the system. And then like I said, that's done in order to save time of the admin some time. The next flow I'm going to show is where the reports and drafts are going to be. So if the admin goes to the navigation under reports, I already show what a new report looks like, but if they go to the next one, this is where all those reports that, for example, when there was a new notification but they don't want to create a case yet, they would be sitting here for them to view and edit before they make a case, or if there's anything else as draft that that they want to go back and like they didn't finish, they can go back and finish. Again, they will have the same look and feel as the cases page because it was important to have a consistent design language. I already show what the OSHA 301 filling out form look like from like when you're inside the case, but when you're actually in the list view, you can still do that by doing by just clicking one of the buttons here. And again, the same flow will show you like what information will be used, the pop-up to populate the form to fill it out when it's filled, and then ready to submit. The same will be for workers' comp. You see it's pending, we're gonna gather information, pull the PDF, save and close, and then submit. The next one is the OSHA 300 form, which I was missing from the previous prototype. Now, when the admin can access it when they are viewing all the cases, which is when they actually need it. When they tab, they can actually just select all the cases they want to include, and then this is gonna trigger a new pop-up screen that I added, and then it will ask them to like select a range of also out of those cases they selected from when to when they wanna populate the OSHA form. The system will tell them how many cases will be included, and they can go ahead and continue. Again, they're gonna have that similar look and feel as the previous forms, where the system will show like autofill everything accordingly. The admin can still edit anything, and it will show them where the form was gathered from. So it will always be the most updated one from the government website. We're gonna go ahead and confirm and submit, and that basically takes care of the OSHA 300 form. In this case, there's no timeline just because it didn't apply to this interaction, right? But the success page will remain, keep that look and feel that we've seen before. And those are basically all the main tasks. I also wanted to show you, what it looks like to switch a new language. So if the user goes to this language drop down, they can go ahead and select Spanish, and the system will like load and like automatically translate everything to Spanish, right? So as you can see here, in Spanish, some things become like longer terms, like one word now becomes up to 3 or 4 words, and then that has design implications in many aspects. But otherwise, everything else remains the same. This is not a flow, by the way. This is just some screens that I translated in Spanish. But just to give you an idea of how it could look if this was used across different languages, and then the success screen with everything showing everything went well. And then last but not least, this is also not a flow, but it's more like I recolored some screens to show what dark mode would look like. This is like the notifications page, um, you know, the notification like detailed, the success screen, and then the cases page. And last but not least, the when like if the user is filling out a report or making edits to the case, this familiar page we've seen before. And then now I had an issue here with contrast, so went ahead and fixed that as per your feedback, and that is basically my prototype. Thank you very much.